Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2026. Let's take a look at the Forex economic calendar for today. Only high important data releases are here on this calendar. As you can see, there are only two high important data releases, all from the USA. Core retail sales and retail sales data are scheduled for release at 2:30, and the market participants expect the retail sales to decrease from 0.2% to 0.1%, and the core retail sales to increase from minus 0.2% to 0.2%. And that's about the high important data releases for Friday. So without any further ado, let's switch to the charts and we start with euro dollar. So the euro dollar is actually not doing much on a 4-hour time frame chart after test of the upper blue channel line and upper yellow channel line. We are oscillating around the level of 50 on the RSI. So right now we are nearly the daily highs, 1.1545, targeting the technical resistance 1.1559, eventually 1.1581. So low volatility Friday so far for the euro dollar. The British pound bounced from the short-term trend line as support, and these days is seen at the highs of the day. Possibly we will test the technical resistance yet again, 1.3508, but with this kind of the momentum, it might be a little bit difficult, little bit low convincing move for now from the British pound. So let's wait for the data releases to see what could happen. US dollar versus the Japanese yen on 4-hour time frame chart is looking quite heavy after the local high at 159.58 has been hit. The momentum is pointing downwards towards the level of 50, and so is the price. Please notice that if we manage to, let's say, place some sort of the corrective waves, you can see that this movement to the upside was so far roughly in 3 waves, right? So those are not definitely any sort of the 5-wave impulsive structure. This is typical for the corrective structure, so we might see some sort of the downside movement quite soon, especially if this area here, this support area here, is violated. The gold market hits the level of 4,450 and moves lower as expected. As you can see, this momentum has been making lower highs. These highs obviously were labeled as higher highs, so it was the classical technical bearish divergence on 4-hour time frame chart, and we are off the recent levels. Let me just place the horizontal line for you to see this level here, which is now technical resistance. We should see some sort of the downside movement here, possibly even testing the lower channel line. We still got this kind of a technical support here, 4,303, and as long as we trade above this level, the outlook still remains rather bullish. If we are back inside of the channel, and please notice this is a descending channel, this movement here will be considered fake breakout, and then the downside should continue. SP500 breaks higher and makes new all-time high, 7,816, but there is a clear bearish divergence between what is price doing, new high, and what is the momentum doing. Obviously, we hit the extremely overbought conditions, but this high is lower than the previous one, so we have the classical bearish divergence here. Right now, we are trading just above this technical resistance level and the previous swing high. Nevertheless, it doesn't actually look like this market will hold for longer, and it looks like if there is movement to the downside, we will easily go back towards the level of 7,700. In the background, there is still uptrend still present. Crude oil go as low as 80.09 and now hits the neutral level on the RSI, and now the bulls are trying to move a little bit higher. Nevertheless, this volatility is very much limited after the retail gap was filled. So for now, it looks like we might have some kind of a quiet situation here, quieter situation here on the crude oil, as they need new definition for the global situation, because obviously the almost situation is no longer being that effective in creating panic sells or panic buys on this market. So market is looking for the new narrative, and sooner or later it will find this new narrative. And last but not least, the Bitcoin, as we said, this movement to the downside without a breakout above any of the crucial technical resistance levels might fail, and this is what's happened. The market is back below the trend line. It doesn't actually look like this breakout was genuine breakout, so it was a kind of a fake one, kind of a low volatility, low momentum breakout, and those kinds of market moves very often are being treated as a fake. So right now we are getting closer and closer towards the this technical support, roughly around 62,450. So please keep an eye on this level, as the bears might want to test this area. Nevertheless, even if we get there, you can still see that we are still inside of this range. Very good example of the sideways trend after the very strong downside movement. So this sideways trend is still being continued, and this market looks heavy from the technical point of view. So we got the impulsive decline, then some sort of the sideways market, some sort of the consolidation with occasional attempts to move higher. Nevertheless, all of them failed to move higher in any above any strategic significant technical resistance. And because the market cannot go up, so the only way right now is to sooner or later start to trade with the trend, and the trend is down. The midterm trend is down for the Bitcoin. This situation here doesn't actually look like impulsive situation. Doesn't look like the bulls are in control of this market. This is just some kind of a pullback, some kind of a correction with sideways trading, and the market is waiting to resume the downside movement sooner or later. That's everything for me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.